Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. This is Jessica and Angel here from DataCore Technology Solutions, and we are interrupting our regularly scheduled Monday staff training, Ask DataCore Live, to bring you some really important, relevant, timely information.
Absolutely. So we talked about WannaCRY, the malware earlier. And basically, malware is a broad term that we use for viruses and other software that can get on your computer and do harmful things. And this particular one is of the kind that's called ransomware. And what it does is it holds your data for ransom. So first things first, don't pay the ransom.
Just like Harrison Ford in the 90s, we don't negotiate with terrorists.
Absolutely. And there's several reasons why. The biggest reason is you're funding the continued proliferation of this type of attack. So when you pay the ransom, you are helping these people continue to do it. And so that's why we recommend that you don't pay the ransom. You could also be funding other types of terrorism. So this is considered cyber terrorism. When you pay the ransom, you could be funding terrorism that also puts our own well-being at risk, as well as our troops overseas and throughout. So don't pay the ransom, please. And I understand your data is important, but you got to look at the big picture. So the tips that we're going to talk about today will help you not have to pay the ransom and will help keep your data safe so that you don't have to do that.
So my first question is, how do you know that you have this malware on your machine?
Very obvious. The first telltale sign is going to be that you start seeing your files being encrypted and basically locked so that you're being held hostage ultimately. Okay. You might see your computer slow down as it starts to do the encryption. You're also going to probably maybe see some alerts from your antivirus as it detects some things. Most antivirus programs by now should have this detected, but if they don't, they might alert to one thing or the other, but you still won't. The biggest telltale sign is you see your files being encrypted.
Okay. So I am on my hard drive. I'm trying to access a file. I can't get it. What do I do next?
My recommendation is you reach for the power cord. Okay. What we want to do is we want to do two things. We want, one, to stop the encryption of the files, and two, to stop the spread. So go ahead and grab that power cord, pull it. If you're on a laptop, hold the power button down so that your computer will abruptly shut off. Don't do the safe shut off because, again, we want to buy time here.
Right.
So if you notice that, immediately pull the power cord on it. If you think it's on your server, we tell clients to never do this, but in this case, pull the power cord on the server as well.
Wow. Okay.
So it's that serious. And actually, this is the same advice that some of the large firms in Europe that were first hit by the virus were giving their employees is just pull the cord.
Okay. All right. So yeah, there was 45 hospitals across Europe this weekend?
The last number I heard was over 200,000 victims across, I think, 150 countries.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, this is not, there's a lot of people talking about it. The news is talking about it. Usually, I'm a skeptic. When I see something on the news, I never really, I don't believe the hype a lot, but This isn't a drill. This isn't hype. This is actually for real. And a lot of our clients have already been prepared for it. We push out our cybersecurity tips, and ultimately, I think we discussed a little bit about this last week about creating a human firewall.
Absolutely.
So there's absolutely no technology I can put in place to secure your network if your people are still not up to par and don't understand the dangers and risks that we're facing these days.
So speaking of that then, what is the human risk? Because I'm going to back us up. We're going to make sure that all of our security updates are patched. We're going to make sure that all of our operating systems are patched. We're going to make sure that we're checking in with our antivirus and firewall software to make sure that's up to date. Assuming I've done all of that, there's still that human element of risk. What does that look like? Well,
what we don't want to do is we don't want to take this malware and invite it into our network. Even if everything is patched and okay, we still don't want to do that. It's just like, let's say you get the flu vaccine. Well, you then don't go into a room full of sick people and breathe in their sneezes. I mean, that's dumb. And the same thing is with this type of stuff. So we want to practice good, I would say, email hygiene. Okay. Be very skeptical of attachments. One of our clients just reported to us they do business with a very large insurance company whose name all of you would know. It's a household name. And that particular company has actually disabled 100% of attachments. So so that insurance company is no longer allowing attachments to be sent in via email. So that's one drastic response to this.
So how do you send attachments in a safe way while we're under this sort of lockdown condition?
So that's going to be interesting. There are several safe ways to do it. One of them would be, we use internally a product called InSync, in secure file sharing, and that's one way to do it that you can use, and that is safer. So that's not without issue if you're infected and one of your files is there. You can pass on an infection, so that's not the be-all, end-all. But the chances of our product being used to attack someone else are a lot lower, and that's not the way that this particular virus is propagating. So that is an option available. Try not to resort to USB. I'm really, everybody loves those flash drives. The problem is that that's a great way to carry a virus from one computer to another. So
literally carrying it.
Literally. So we want to avoid those as well. But that's just another set of threats that we could talk about and spend some time on.
So my understanding is that this software is exploiting a weakness in Microsoft. And I get a lot of flack around the office for being a Mac user, an Apple user. But like I get annoyed with so many of my fellow Apple users for feeling smug, like we're not in
Don't feel
danger.
smug. There's some nasty stuff out there for Apple. So if you're an Apple user and you're, riding high and pretty, guess what? That same attitude is that complacency that will get you in a lot of trouble. So this isn't the time to criticize Microsoft for it. They actually responded very quickly with a patch and an update for this.
It's my understanding that the patch actually came out before.
Correct.
The virus.
So here's a little history on how this got started. This is not political, so chill out. But back when WikiLeaks released the list of NSA cyber weapons, this was one of those cyber weapons. And so Microsoft patched it after that list was out, but because people are not patching consistently.
And before this happened.
Before this happened. Because Microsoft released the patch and people were not patching consistently, this was still exploitable. Now, when you look at the list of organizations that got hacked, or got breached by this, the National Health Service in England, Telefonica, which is like a Verizon equivalent out in Spain. You've got very large companies that have the resources to do this, and they still got compromised.
It's my understanding that if your patch is as little as 2 weeks out of date, you could be affected by this.
You could be affected. And it used to be that we would stagger the rollouts just because patches have been known to be bad and could cause issues. And we're actually revisiting that policy in here now because the critical patches need to be released immediately, and the risks far outweigh the risk of patching early with a critical patch that might be buggy far outweigh the risk of actually getting compromised.
So for our clients that DataCore is managing their machines and their systems for them, what do they need to do? So
what we've been doing all weekend is we've been going around and inspecting all the patches to make sure that patch has rolled out. We've been going around and making sure that all antivirus is up to date. We've also been checking backups to make sure, because at the end of the day, the backup is going to be the last line of defense. So if our clients have managed backups with us, I know that we have a few that still have local-based backups, and we'll be contacting them and telling them, hey, those days are over. They're long gone. It's time to leave the local backup, and it's time to have a combination of local and cloud-based backup. So local backup being like a giant EHG? Like a giant, or basically a hard drive locally.
Okay.
So if you're backing up only locally, that data can still be compromised by this virus. So that's why we want to leave that. The cloud backup creates a separation, a line of delineation between the computer that gets infected and the actual storage of the backup.
Okay. So the moral of the story, though, is our data core clients are covered.
Yes.
Because we got your back.
Absolutely.
Believe me, I was getting texts from Angel at 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday because he was at the data center making sure that you guys were covered.
Yep.
So we're on top of this.
Yeah, we're on top of it.
That doesn't mean that your home computers are safe, though.
That's right. And for people that use their home computer to access business resources, you could actually have this jump from your home computer to your business. So that's why we stress if you use your home computer for business, have us cover it. You know, it gives us the ability to then respond a little quicker. It also gives us the ability to extend the same level of security that we have on your corporate network, or give you some options. You know, options are great. We have tons of options. And at the end of the day, the only thing we can't control is what you do. So what we want to do is help you understand what careless behavior is on the internet, and if you know, and how to mitigate that as best as possible.
Right. Okay. I'm trying to run through my head of sort of nightmare scenarios about how this might get onto one of my machines and what I would be concerned about. We covered email.
Yes. Suspicious
links, suspicious attachments. Is this moving through any apps or software right now?
Right now, it is moving mainly via email. Once it's on a local network, so once it hits one computer, it can move and exploit that vulnerability on other local computers. So, you know, definitely, and the first sign of it, a suspicious email, give us a call. We'll take a look at it. We'll assess the situation and decide to go or where to go from there. An interesting development was a security researcher accidentally discovered a kill switch for this. And so he actually triggered the kill switch. It involved creating a domain that would actually answer back, and if the malware detected the domain, we would actually the malware would actually turn off. So there was a kill switch detected, and it was triggered, and then the attackers responded by releasing another version without the kill switch. So yeah.
So they want your money.
They want your money,
and you got to be on guard, just like you do in the physical world. You got to be on guard. You got to be on guard on your computer and your digital life as well.
Absolutely.
All right.
So I did allude this morning to the fact that security researchers are thinking that this is not the end, and there's more coming this week. So I would suspect to see it proliferate in the U.S. faster this week. It started in Europe, and because it moves through email, a lot of people in Europe talk to people in Europe a lot more than they talk to people in the U.S. Just because that's how business works. So, you know, that local conversation caused it to proliferate locally first. So I suspect this week we'll be seeing it proliferate in the United States a lot more. That's not to say it hasn't already. I was looking at some infection maps, and the United States has seen infections, and they are rising. So, you know, you definitely want to be on the lookout for it. You want to be alert about it. And what we're going to do to help you out, Jessica may have figured this out yet or not, but we'll try to put up a website where you can go and look at some resources, and we'll link it here in the video.
Yep.
So that you can go right there and see what we can do to help you out. But in the meantime, you can give us a call. We'll also put the phone number to call us at in the video.
Or right here on our Facebook page. Send us a Facebook message, comment on this video. Any way that you reach out to us, we're on call all the time because of this. This has been a big deal.
Yeah, so we're here to help you out.
Just a question born out of my own ignorance. If email is the primary way that this is moving, would it be safer for me to check my email on my phone as opposed to my computer?
You can. I don't know. I haven't looked into the effects of opening those attachments on the phone.
Okay.
Generally speaking, a lot of these exploits don't execute on a phone.
Okay.
So I could tell you that it's safer,
but not safe.
But I still want you to practice good email hygiene. If you're not expecting the message, call. Don't email. call the person and say,
Believe
hey.
me, I've gotten malware on my phone before, and it stinks.
Yeah.
It's not any more fun than getting it on your computer.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. That was a great question, though. Thank you very much.
Oh, awesome. All right. So if that's all we got to cover, I
think that's it. Other than now we got some web pages to create. And
they have web page. As soon as it goes live, it'll be here in the comments on this video. It'll be a post on our Facebook page. I will blast it all over the internet and make sure that you've got it as soon as I've got it. Resources for information about what's going on, the latest info that we have, and ideas about what you can do to keep yourself safe. But in the meantime, while we're getting that together, just remember, stranger danger works both ways. It works in person, works on the internet.
Absolutely. It's funny. Back when I was growing up, my parents used to tell me not to get in strangers' cars and not to talk to strangers. And now we literally have an app that can summon strangers, and we get in cars with them. It's crazy.
It's a brave new world.
What a world that we live in. So, but anyway, thank you very much for joining us today. And we'll go ahead and put some resources and links along with this video. Give us a little bit of time to get that prepared. Again, this is all evolving in real time.
It's happening real, yeah. It's happening real.
So it'd be easy if this was something that we could foresee and put stuff out there already linked in the video. But it really is evolving in real time. So please check back on our page, check back on this video, and we will keep you up to date. Yep. And if you have any questions, contact us. We have had clients contact us for things in the past, and we've been able to save them thousands of dollars worth of time, money, and headaches by catching something before it becomes an issue.
An ounce of prevention. Absolutely. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And we will be talking to you very soon.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.